Okay.
No, I never congratulate anybody, okay?
Bubba Wallace just made NASCAR history at the Brickyard 400. But instead of universal praise, his biggest moment was met with deafening silence from someone who knows racing better than anyone, Richard Petty. And when the king of NASCAR finally spoke, what he said left fans stunned. Wallace's win wasn't just another checkered flag, it ended a 3-year drought and came with everything on the line. Driving for Michael Jordan's 23-11 Racing, Wallace edged out Kyle Larson in a double overtime thriller at Indianapolis. It was a defining moment for a driver who spent years under the harshest spotlight NASCAR has to offer. But while the motorsport world erupted in celebration, one voice was missing. Richard Petty, 7-time Cup Series champion, NASCAR icon, and Wallace's former boss, chose not to acknowledge the win. No text, no phone call, not even a tweet, just silence. And when pressed by fans on a podcast Q&A, Petty didn't dodge the question. His response,
No, I never congratulate anybody, okay? You know, even my drivers and stuff, you put them out there, you expect them to win the race. That's what you put them out there for.
That might sound cold, but to Petty, it's not personal. It's philosophy. Winning isn't something you applaud. It's the job. He didn't pat his own team on the back during his era, and he wasn't about to start now. Still, the context makes the moment hit harder. Wallace raced under Richard Petty Motorsports for 4 seasons between 2017 and 2020. He failed to register a Cup Series win during that time, despite high hopes and a growing fan base. In many ways, Wallace's move to 23-11 Racing marked a turning point, both for his career and for his public image. For many, this wasn't just a snub, it was symbolic. Petty's refusal to acknowledge Wallace's victory felt like a clash of eras. The old-school act-like-you've-been-there-before mindset colliding with a new generation that celebrates every hard-earned win. Wallace has become a polarizing figure in the sport, not just for his driving, but for his outspokenness, activism, and determination to break barriers. So when he finally broke through in one of the sport's most iconic races, the lack of acknowledgement from his most prominent mentor stood out. And yet, even Petty couldn't deny what Wallace achieved.
Hand it to him.
They run good all day.
They did.
He was right up front. He didn't cause any confusion. Didn't really have to race a whole lot with anybody. He just run. And then the way they made their pit stop there at last, and everything worked out good. But then when it came down to those, green-white checker deals, he was the fastest car. He was faster than the 5 car or the 11 car.
I was really surprised.
Petty gave Wallace credit for execution, speed, and racecraft, but true to form, kept his recognition clinical and understated. This win came at a time when 23-11 Racing needed it most. Still embroiled in a high-stakes lawsuit with NASCAR over charter status, the team entered the Brickyard 400 as an open entry. A huge disadvantage. No guaranteed spot, reduced revenue, and the constant threat of being left behind. Yet Wallace and the team delivered against the odds. With this win, they became the first open team to ever win on a non-drafting oval since the charter system began in 2016, an unprecedented achievement in modern NASCAR. Wallace's triumph also marked a cultural milestone. He became the first driver of African-American heritage to win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval, a moment that resonated far beyond racing. It was a statement of resilience, representation, and redemption, especially for a driver who's faced intense scrutiny for both his performance and his public stances. That scrutiny wasn't limited to the media. Wallace has frequently been the subject of fan skepticism, especially from traditional NASCAR audiences who were slow to embrace his outspoken presence and off-track activism. His tenure at RPM was often used as ammunition by critics to question his talent, but Wallace's win at Indy shifted the narrative. It wasn't just a fluke. He led laps, executed a flawless race strategy, and held off champions under immense pressure. His performance forced even the harshest skeptics to take notice. For Wallace, it wasn't just about winning, it was about surviving. Locking in a playoff spot with 5 races left, he didn't just quiet the critics, he proved he could rise above the noise, and the noise has always followed him. From his advocacy for racial justice to the backlash he received for taking a stand in a deeply traditional sport, Wallace's career has never been easy. That's what made the silence from Petty so loud. Meanwhile, 23XI co-owner Michael Jordan didn't hold back. Despite not being at the track, he called Wallace right after the win, telling him, "He was just so proud. Said he'd have a drink or two for me tonight." The celebration was loud, emotional, and filled with meaning. For a team battling in court and on the track, the victory was both validation and motivation. And then there's Wallace, shirtless, sweating, shouting in Victory Lane. "Welcome to Victory Lane, Bex!" he yelled to his wife and kid. He didn't just win a race, he reclaimed his story. With the eyes of the world watching, Bubba Wallace delivered the performance of his life and didn't need a pat on the back from Richard Petty to know it. Still, the question remains, was Petty's stance just old-school discipline or something deeper? Fans are split. Some see it as consistent with Petty's legendary mindset. No frills, no fluff, just results. Others wonder if it reflects lingering tension from their years together at RPM, or perhaps a reluctance to embrace Wallace's style and stature in today's NASCAR. Either way, one thing is clear. Wallace is no longer chasing acceptance. He's chasing wins. And if Petty doesn't want to congratulate him, Wallace has millions who will. His Brickyard 400 win wasn't just a race, it was a declaration. Bubba Wallace has arrived, with or without the King's crown.